And we're back. Alright, so it's been a while. It's nighttime now. I have my pajamas on. This might be a recurring theme because a lot of times I work on this build. It's going to be at nighttime after work on a school night, after my kids go to bed. So, yeah. I'm going to crack a Steez, green tea, half and half. These things are amazing. I usually don't take caffeine at night at all, but special occasion. MTBR and Esker giveaway winner. Cheers to myself. Okay. In the last video, I put our wheels together. Are kind of inexpensive. I hesitate to say cheap because that's, cheap has some terrible connotations. I think these wheels are fine. They're inexpensive wheels. And I weighed them up. I don't have rotors on them yet, and I don't have the cassette on, which we're about to do here. But the front with 2 ounces of sealant stands weighs 1,949 grams with the 2.6 inch tires. And the rear weighs 2,058 grams. So yeah, I mean, they're robust. They're robust. They're not super light. They don't feel like egregiously heavy. Like I mentioned before, they feel fine. Yeah, I think they'll go. And as I mentioned, as I was working on this earlier, the benefit to having cheap parts is that you just don't give a shit if they break or if you scratch them. You don't have to worry about that. It's mountain biking. It's gonna happen. It does happen constantly. So yeah, it's just one less thing to worry about when you use inexpensive, high-value parts. All right, so also I have another giveaway item. I'll put this to the side. We're not going to do anything. Actually, we're going to put the discs on as well after the cassette. Here's the other giveaway item. I might just not do the stupid counting the Allen wrench drops thing because no one's going to watch all these videos anyway. So I may just have people message me on MTBR and tell me why they want these parts, or if they have a legitimate use for these parts, make a case and I will ship them to you. Yeah, so we did the 1-up composite pedals in blue. Also, I'm only going to ship them to you if it matches your build. So you better have some blue on your build for those pedals. And these are New Proof Horizon carbon V2 bars, 31.8 clamp, and they've been, I cut them to like 760, I think. I was going to put them on my wife's bike, but we chose some different bars with a higher rise. I believe they're 20 mil rise, I think. 9-degree back sweep, 5-degree up sweep, I think. The thing with these bars is they're carbon, which is cool. I've never crashed them, so they should be fine. Disclaimer, if these bars do break, it's not on me. I've never crashed with these bars, but yeah, I'm not going to be liable for your injuries. But they're totally fine. Yeah, like I said, I just cut them too short, and my wife's probably never going to use them. They're really stiff, though, is the thing. Like, really stiff. In fact, there was a test on Bike Radar or something that actually compared stiffness of bars, and this was one of the test subjects, and this was the stiffest bar in the test, insanely stiff. So if you like that, good for you. These would work pretty well for you. Anyways, that's the other giveaway item. I'll post more about that in the MTBR thread and how we're gonna work that. But yeah, after we do the wheels, cassette and disc, we're gonna also, maybe if we have time, we're gonna get into the derailleur. I'm gonna put on these oil slick jockey wheels and see how these go. They look pretty cool. I'm not even gonna lie though, they don't look to be finished super well, which is probably to be expected, especially with the oil slick anodizing. I have some other $3 jockey wheels I got from AliExpress that I have on the Nordes, and the Kodak for that matter, with ceramic bearings. Those look to be finished a lot better than those oil slick ones I just showed you. But I'm going to try them. If they don't work, I'll just throw the other ones on, the plastic ones. It takes 2 seconds to do it. Like I said, it's just a super cheap way to add a little pizzazz to the Aurora build. Yeah, I mentioned the thread, but One of my daughter's names is Aurora, so of course I had to get the Aurora colorway. It looks the best anyways. And yeah, I'm kind of just rolling with that Aurora theme. In fact, I'm even gonna call the bike Borealis. Maybe I'll change the name because that's pretty unoriginal, but I'm going with the entire full-on Aurora Borealis theme. You know, like the frame is like a deep purple blue. I'm gonna throw in some like purple blue oil slick iridescent things like the jockey wheels and these valve caps, and a lot of silver to complement. I was gonna do like a groundkeeper custom, like straight on. It's like an Aurora designed mudguard, but I just went with the integrated fender to save money, and it just fits the fork perfectly. So the Aurora fender, I don't know, man, it looked kind of cheesy. I kind of waffled on it for a little while. Could always go back and do it, but it might be a little cheesy. I'm trying to cornball this build. Here's the cassette. Absolutely nothing special. It's a freaking NX cassette with an HT driver. I should probably make sure I don't lose these pieces. Something I haven't always done in the past, which I'm going to do right now, is I'm going to grease up the free hub body. I'm just going to put like a really light layer of grease on there just to make sure it doesn't shake, and just make sure it doesn't get, if it does dig into the splines at all, I want to make sure it doesn't completely get seized down there if I ever need to remove it, because it's been a problem with me in the past and I had to resort to some crazy like YouTube tutorial tactics to get it off. I don't even remember what I did. I'm going to be using this Maxima grease as assembly grease. I have Park Tool Polylube. I'm going to use the Polylube for more like things that are actually moving, like my axles and stuff. This stuff it was super cheap, obviously. If you can't tell by now, I'm a cheap bastard, okay? Just say it. Just come out and say it, it's fine. Call me cheap in the comment section. This stuff it's what is it called? NLGI2 lithium grease. I think I got that, I don't know. It's basically the same standard of grease, like the gold standard of marine grease that everyone uses for auto parts and stuff. It's just way cheaper because it's not bike branded. The brand is Maxima Racing Wheels. And I'm gonna apply it with a Q-tip, I guess. So the thing I don't like about this grease, right away, the difference between this grease and the Park Tool Polylube, I don't even know if you'll be able to see it, but like when you dip it in here, it just like leaves really long strands of grease. But it's not a big deal. But yeah, we're just gonna grease up just like a light layer on the splines all around. Just a light layer. So yeah, you know, this is just therapeutic, man. If you've never built a bike before, I'm just gonna go out and say it, you need to build a bike. Like, it's just fun, dude. If you've ever built Legos in your life, if you had a childhood and you build Legos in your life, you will fucking love building a bike, dude. Like, just the part selection, the hunt to find all the parts, and like the actual assembly itself and the tuning. Yeah, it's a little time consuming, it's a lot of work, but it's just enjoyable, man. And the end product is just, even if you're a cheap bastard like me and you're using like cheaper parts, if you're smart with the parts you buy and how you spend your money, like how I'm hoping to demonstrate for you here, that you can still end up with just a fucking amazing bike. I mean, granted, I won the frame, but still, I mean, if you look at the spreadsheet I posted, you can see I did not spend a lot of money on a lot of these parts. Like, you just need to be tactical with where you get things. For example, I'm probably gonna get flamed to hell for buying Shimano parts on AliExpress. Surely they can't be real, but they can. I mean, Shimano parts are just way cheaper in Asia. And you're buying them directly from Asia. You don't have the dealer markups. You're not paying dealer overhead. you're just cutting costs. You're getting direct to consumer parts. And yeah, there are legitimate Shimano parts. Yes, there are some counterfeits. Like from what I've heard, there's counterfeit Shimano chains and there's counterfeit Shimano cassettes. Don't buy anything SRAM because it's all going to be counterfeit. I don't know why that is, because surely SRAM made in Taiwan, you know, as well. Well, I guess Shimano's a lot of it's made in Japan, but some of it's made in Taiwan and Malaysia. But yeah, Shimano for the most part, like brakes and group set parts are going to be legitimate from AliExpress, and they're going to be like fucking half the price. So yeah, that's just like one example of a way you can save a little money on your build. Okay, I think we're greased, maybe even too much. Oh, I want to grease inside the actual threads. I shouldn't have thrown that away. I need to. Luckily, this is still this trash can was just changed, so there's nothing in there. Or you're gonna grease on the inside of here, just around here for the lock ring. Grease it up. Yeah, and this is really actually kind of fun to make a video. I've never done this before of the build. I should have done this for the last 3 builds, or actually 4 builds that I did. I think it would have been a lot of fun. You know, I was not planning on building another bike, but when I won this frame, I was like, oh, well, here we go again. Back in the saddle again. I guess I have to build a bike. It's my lucky bike. Come on now. All right, let's put this cassette on. Did I forget anything? That's always the question to ask yourself. I think we're good to go. You always want to put it on piece by piece and try not to get them out of order because it can get real fucky real quick if you do. And I mean, yeah, when you do a build for the first time, there's absolutely a learning curve. You're gonna be Googling shit. You're gonna be ordering the wrong parts maybe because you didn't think about a standard that you needed to think about. Like once you do it once or twice, it gets really easy. And dude, the end product is just so special. You can be like, look, I built this with my own hands. It's just awesome. I can't even fathom like people who build their own frames. That's gotta be fucking just amazing to say that you built your own frame and then you're riding it down a mountain. So yeah, with these cassettes, you just kind of guess until you find the right one. Do not get these fuckers out of order because this gets real annoying real quick if you get them out of order and you forget where the spacers are supposed to go. Keep it together, folks. Keep it together. I'm running Advent X on my Kodak right now. If you want to save even more money on your drivetrain, I highly recommend Advent X. It's very functional. It's very easy to set up with only having 10 speeds rather than 11 or 12. I know it sounds like a minute difference. It's so much easier to tune the shifting with the 10-speed drivetrain. Also, the cassette is super light, and the cassette is pretty inexpensive. I went with SRAM on this one because if I'm going to be totally honest, I do think SRAM shifts a little bit better. It's got like a crispy feel to it. It just clicks in and just you feel that shift just engage. But yeah, it's more expensive. But I already had the GX derailleur from the co-op, so I just decided. And I also had the cassette was a spare for my Nordest, and I also had the chain. So I was like, you know what? We're gonna do SRAM GX NX Eagle for the shifting. It's just crispy, dude. I don't know. It's my favorite. I'm sure we got it all in there now. I'm sure the SRAM transmission is amazing, but I can't fucking afford that. Nor do I really necessarily want to introduce electronics on my bike. I'm not fully prepared to open that can of worms yet. It's easier to justify when you can't afford it, let me tell you that. If I could afford it, maybe I could justify it, but I can't afford it. So it's pretty easy to say, you know, to get on a high horse and be like, oh, analog bikes only. Okay, man, if I could afford an e-bike, I'd probably ride one. But I'm going to be dogmatic about analog bikes since I can't afford an e-bike, and I'll just pretend like that's not the reason. Okay, so I think the cassette is on there perfectly. All the cogs are perfectly spaced. So we're going to lock ring it up. And here's this tried and tested HG lock ring cassette tool. Actually, I don't even know if it's HG specific, but it's just a tool. I'll make sure I thread this in right. I think we're good. Oh, this is actually one of my favorite tools in the entire garage. It's the Diamond Tool and Horseshoe Co. made in Duluth, Minnesota. Speaking of which, I would love to move to Duluth. Thinking about moving back up north. Trails are amazing here, but yeah, I'm from Wisconsin. Love to get back there. And it's got my Grandpa Chester's Chester Lyric. His initials, he put his initials on everything. In fact, he used to sign it like in cursive, his CL initials. Just kind of a special tool. It's a big ass crescent wrench, made in the USA, made in Minnesota. I don't know, there's just something special about a made in USA tool that's older than you are. Pretty cool, man. And yeah, we're not gonna torque wrench this. I actually don't have I don't have a torque wrench that can effectively torque more than, like, I think the one I have only goes to 15 Nm or whatever. Why is this like, make sure we're the same. Sanity check really quick. Yeah, see? I'm glad I did a sanity check. There's something in right here. Something is misaligned with this lock ring. Glad I didn't just start poking on it. Ah, shit. Let's just make sure everything's right. I might have to bust out the chain whip to get this off now. Something's up with this little metal washer here. No, I've never even seen this before. Do I really need this little metal washer? Nothing looks to be light on here. It's just a problem with this lock ring. So what I saw before is when I was spinning this, it was like wobbly, like it wasn't aligned right. I think it's aligned right now. Sure hope so before I start cranking on it again. I think I kind of messed up some of the threads a little bit. It's fine, guys, it's fine. Cheap wheel set, don't care. Okay. Yeah. See. Man, I'm tripping now. I feel like this top little cog is like misaligned. It's really hard to look at it and just be able to tell with the naked eye. Let me do it like this. Yeah, this little washer is just. Okay, I'm gonna need to take it off one more time and take that little washer out. It's protruding out of there. I've never seen that thing before. I really don't think it's strictly necessary. So I'm just gonna take it out because it looks to be screwing up the alignment of the lock ring. Yeah, sometimes you run into a little adversity in your builds, you know what? Sometimes you just straight up fuck shit up. Maybe guilty of that. I might be guilty of fucking shit up occasionally. Oh man, this chain link is gonna be a bitch on this giant cassette. And it's a 12-speed cassette, so it's gonna be painful to get this thing in here. Hopefully. It's hard to make it sit on the cassette because there's so little space in between all of the cogs on the 12-speed. Once again, way easier on the Advent X. Please stay put. This build is quickly turning into a struggle bus. Hopefully I don't lose all the 2 viewers that I had because of this. This thing just like does not fit on here. Okay, maybe I got it there, hopefully. There we go. Finally. Sorry about that, guys and gals. Okay, 3rd time's a charm. Let's not fuck this. Let's not fuck up our components. That's not something we want to do here. Yeah, this lock ring is just fucky. I don't want to use this. It's just causing problems. Just cheap ass fucking, it's like, I don't even know. This thinnest piece of aluminum I've ever seen in my life. clean a little debris out of there. By debris, I mean fucked up threads. Oh my god, guys, this is embarrassing. It's fine though. Might put a little more grease on those. That just took some out. Yeah, you just saw me smell the grease. Don't judge me. It smells like, I don't know, it smells like grease, I guess. It smells not much different than the polylube. Probably more than I need even, but. Third time's a charm. I wonder if I was actually supposed to take that piece off. It looked like it was just causing issues, and I've never used that before. Let's get this situated in here, right? Yeah, this thing is totally turning in wrong. This is awesome. I'm gonna eat my own words about inexpensive parts. Okay, I think we averted a major crisis there. Pretty sure I'm good to go now. Everything looks like it's aligned. Yeah, I think I damaged some threads on here on the free hub part, but I mean, if it's still threads, then it works, right? Hopefully I don't eat my words right. Oh, we're good. I've never had this problem before. I swear I'm not a complete retard. Yeah. I blame the wheel set. I blame you, Niner. We're good to go now. And yeah, this is totally normal for guys who are not used to building or putting on a cassette. And you get some resistance there. You don't want to tighten it like monster tight, but you do want to, I think usually you do like 40 Nm or something like that. Obviously I'm not using a torque wrench, but as long as you're not seizing up the free hub and it still spins freely and you don't feel like you're causing any extra friction on the actual hub itself, should be good to go. I'm probably not going to tighten it up anymore. The cassette is firmly in place, I think. Maybe give it one more just gentle. I think we're good. I say that, yeah, well, I'm not even going to test my chances. I can always tighten it up again if I need to, but I think it's nice and snug. I probably just added a gargantuan amount of weight with this heavy NX cassette. I'm actually going to reweigh it again. Just because I'm curious. Maybe you're all curious. Maybe not. Maybe you don't get it. I'm out of frame, but I'll tell you what it weighs. So, with the cassette, we're at 2,676 grams. Yeah, that's a hefty boy. I'll give you that. Some might say that's an absolute unit even. Okay. What next? Move some of this stuff up frame that we're not going to use anymore. I'm not going to need grease right now. Recycle this box. I guess we're going to move on to putting on the discs. I should probably clean my hands a little bit so I don't need grease on the discs. So what I'm doing behind the camera is I got some rubbing alcohol because I don't have any shop wipes and I don't feel like making you wait to wash my hands, so I'm just using rubbing alcohol on my hands just so I don't contaminate the rotors. Oh yeah. Very nice. Let's put the rotors on. So, got these. Yes, they're from AliExpress. They are supposedly Avid 180 mil rotors. I'm using them on the exact same ones in my Surly. It's hard to really discern if it's the rotor or the brake pad or the brake. That's, you know, a problem in a braking setup. But the brakes set up on my Surly seem to be working well with these rotors. You know, my standards aren't that high. I'm not like doing super insane, gnarly enduro downhill shit anyway. My full AliExpress rotor pad and Dior 6120 brake set will keep me alive, I promise you. So, we have this fine Milwaukee box cutter. I like to rep Milwaukee when I can, even though it's expensive. Actually, this is like the only Milwaukee thing I have that I can afford, and I got some Milwaukee screwdrivers since I'm from Milwaukee. It's like mandatory that I rep them to some degree. So I'm debating even if I should put gloves on for this. Probably unnecessary. This is not very exciting. These are just rotors. rotor bolts. I may just use some rotor bolts I already have instead of opening these. But yeah, use the rotors. They look very circular and rotary. They say Abbott on them. Who knows if they're actually genuine. So this is one thing I do not claim to know if it's genuine or not. I'll say that.